In this video, we are going to demonstrate the tape measure tool. It is a tool over here. It is currently disabled, and that's because we don't have any batter boards in the scene. Essentially, you have to pull a tape off of something in your scene, so you have to have something in the scene from which you can pull the tape before you can use the tape measure tool. So I'm just going to add a quick batter board right here, and what we'll do now is you can see the tape measure tool became enabled. Tape measure tool does have a shortcut key of T, so if I just press the T key, we switch to the tape measure. Now what happens is, if I'm using the mouse, if I bring my mouse close to something like a batter board or a string, you'll see a little ghost tape measure show up to indicate that you are close enough to something to pull a tape off of it. So when that batter board, or when that ghost shows up, what I'll do is I will press and drag, and that pulls a tape measure off of that batter board. Once I have a tape measure in the scene and I have the tape measure tool enabled, you will notice that I have a couple little buttons on this tape measure that allow me to adjust the tape measure. I can move the body of the tape measure pretty much anywhere I want, and I can slide the hook along whatever I attach that tape measure to. I can't move the hook to something else. If I want to pull a tape off of something, off of a different batter board, for example, I will need to delete this tape measure and add another one. Or just, I don't have to delete it. You can have more than one tape measure. You can have multiple tape measures in your scene. To delete a tape measure, you'll need to use the delete tool. And what you'll see is a delete button. When you enable the delete tool, a delete button is shown above the tape measure body. Deleting and creating of the tape measure is an undoable step, or is an undoable action, so I can undo my delete. You can also pull tape measures off of strings. So we'll dive into strings in a second, but let me go ahead and add another batter board and a string between these two. And you'll notice that I can pull a tape measure. As I get the tape measure close to the string, again, that ghost appears, and I can pull a tape measure off of a string. And I can also slide the hook up and down that string as I see fit. If the string is deleted, this tape measure will be deleted as well. If I have a tape measure attached to a batter board and that batter board is deleted, that tape measure will also be deleted. Finally, let me demonstrate one more thing by adding in a couple more batter boards real quick. We can also pull a tape off of an intersection. So notice I have two strings intersecting right here. If I bring my mouse close to this point, to this intersection, the ghost tape will snap to that. And if I pull a tape measure off of that, because I've pulled off of an intersection, as I drag it around, you may notice that the tape will snap and align with the strings that make up that intersection. So it's a nice way to align a tape measure with a string.